Did you think we were done after talking about linebackers for 100 minutes? Of course we're not done. We're back with running back coverage.
This is Sicko Street, buddy.
This is Sicko Street. It 100% is Sicko Street. We are down a panelist here. Nick DeMeo graciously joined us and jumped off as he is not responsible for running backs as myself and the great Danny Meehan are. Danny, you and I have been talking running backs now for well over a year. I know we've been back and forth last year's draft. Now we finally get to share a microphone to talk about the position. And I'll tell you what, I appreciate people like Daniel Barry who are jumping in the comments, still saying hello on a happy Tuesday as we wane toward 10:30 Central Time. But Danny, I don't know about you. I'm ready to.
I'm feeling 22.
Running back. You're feeling 22?
Absolutely.
That's good because I'm not
22, buddy.
I love it. I love it.
God.
What do you say? We just jump right into this thing. I mean, this 116 is probably not fair, but let's open up the can of worms. Start with Jeremiyah Love, consensus number one guy in this draft.
Okay, Jeremiyah Love. I have a similar grade on him as I had on Bijan, as I had on Ashton Genty. I think he's the cream of the crop. There's not one that touches him. I probably think he's going to finish as my personal best football player in this draft class, despite playing the position of running back, because I just think he's that dominant, that good, that just undeniably talented. He's a big play waiting to happen. He's got good hands. He's a willing blocker. He sometimes lacks on vision. I'm not going to sit here and defend the fact that he sometimes gets a little erratic and just depends on the fact that he can bounce pretty much anything and everything anytime he wants at the college level. Mm-hmm. But that's a similar trait to which Saquon Barkley had at Penn State, right?
Sure.
Where when they're like, well, when he doesn't know what to do, he just bounces. Well, when you physically can afford to do that,
right,
at that level, why wouldn't you? He as a player blows Randall out of the water.
Yeah.
But let me say this before we move on from Love, and you can add your 2 cents on him. I think I actually ran this by you in our Discord chat or whatever for comps. Jeremiyah Love for me is going to be what people thought was going to be idealized Reggie Bush in the NFL. Like, he's not the highlight reel player that Reggie was in college, because that's just like the absolute tallest of timber. Like, that's the highlights Reggie Bush had at USC are Looney Tunes.
Absolutely.
But the player that I think people envisioned him becoming in the NFL is, I think, what Jeremiyah Love is going to be.
I could see that.
Like, that's just kind of where my brain goes. And I'm interested to see what you say about that.
Yeah, I think the one difference in that, I think Reggie Bush might have been the better pure receiver. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Jeremiyah Love is still a good receiver, but I think just what Reggie Bush did in the passing game maybe takes him a little bit of a step further than Love. I'll agree with you there. I'll go down the little bit of a negative path, and at least the things I didn't like about the Jeremiyah Love, because I agree with you. He's a big play waiting to happen. The athleticism is off the charts. Like you mentioned the vision, and that was one of the biggest knocks I had for him, is sometimes just the vision doesn't feel like it's there. But at the same time, he's so freakishly athletic that it doesn't fucking matter, because he will find a way. Yeah, he'll find a way to make up for the lack of vision at times, because he is so freakishly athletic. The one thing, and this is super niche, and maybe this is like the football coach inside of me, and it's the just maybe being overcritical because this guy's held in such a high light, and I'm just naturally said, okay, I'm going to watch him, but I'm going to objectively look at my own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
There was one thing that stood out to me that I didn't like about Jeremiyah Love. And like, to a level of like, I would tell my general manager if I was a scout, this slightly concerns me going forward. There were times, especially when they played superior competition. You know, I think back to the which game is it that I'm already drawing a blank on? Very early in the season that they just not have a good time. He had instances where it was an RPO with the quarterback, and the quarterback kept the football, and it was the correct read, and he visibly threw a tantrum on the field.
Ooh. And I can't say I caught that, but I can see why that would bug somebody, especially a coach.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, if you want to be upset about it, be upset about it on the sideline. Don't show the other team that you're visibly upset, because if I'm the other team, I'm purposely taking away you just to piss you off and get you off your game. That's a mental.
To your point, I'm not sure if you even knew this, but I have coached myself in the past. Not at the level you do, but I've coached linebackers at the varsity football level and
hell yeah,
helped design defensive game plans, things like that. If I could tell you from an opposition standpoint what I don't like about him and something that I feel like you could make him pay for at the NFL level, yes, I think while I can say it's two sides of the same coin, right? Yeah. You bounce everything. You're able to do whatever you want because you're this bona fide supreme athlete. The RAS scores bear that out. So do the Spark scores. He has a tendency at times when he knows he's the best athlete on the field to just fuck the game plan. I'm going to do what I want when I want.
Yep.
And that's something, if we're speaking purely from a coach's perspective, that's aggravating.
Yes.
Because that's, especially at the NFL level, where everyone's big, strong, fast, and whatever, they're going to make you pay for that, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. And this is the game that I was referring to. Yeah, Love only touched the ball 14 times against Miami, and 10 of those were carries. Like, he was visibly frustrated more often than not in that game because of a lot of RPOs that didn't go his way and him getting to keep the football. And to your point, Danny, too, you mentioned, the coaching aspect of it, right? I want to bounce everything as a running back. I'm going to play contain on you and force you to run between the tackles.
Yeah, I'm going to literally just not even tell my lineman to crash in. You're going to just set and make him make a decision.
Yep.
Because if I do that and my safeties are coming down, especially if we know you're committed to the run, I can have the safeties come down. I can have the corners shade in. I can do a lot of things to make your life a lot harder.
Right.
Anyway, Jeremiyah Love is a fantastic football player.
Yes. No, and so like that's what I wanted to preface. And maybe this is just me. When I know Jeremiyah Love coming into this process is the bona fide number one in this class, I'm almost overcritical of him as a player because I want to find out, okay, if you are truly the guy, which he is, I don't disagree with you at all. Like, he is a phenomenal football player. But if I'm a GM and I'm willing to spend potentially 5 draft capital on you in this draft, I'm going to find every single flaw in your game and understand either how we can fix it or how we can manage it. And if I can't do that, I can't justify spending a top 5 pick on you.
Agreed.
So that's where I approached this kind of evaluation process. Don't get me wrong, hilariously good football player.
Oh, like super obscenely good.
Yes,
obscenely good at football.
So much fun to watch. Incredible athlete. The way he can be used as a receiver in the pass game. The amount of times that he turned runs that looked like nothing into something were impressive because he's just a freak athlete.
I agree. There's nowhere to disagree. What are your thoughts on Mr. Adam Randall? Because I think you and I may differ on him.
Okay. I don't hate Adam Randall. So maybe we don't necessarily differ. I think he's an interesting prospect. I think the negatives to him, he runs a little high, and I don't think he's very shifty. I think he's a very north-south runner.
He's enormous.
He is enormous. No, he's huge.
He's enormous.
6'2", 230, and he ran a 4.5 at the combine. Like, he had a great combine.
To be fair, I always try to pick 3 games to watch. I try to pick beginning, middle, and end, so I get a sense of where the player is, either injury-wise, skill-wise, or basically how he went as the year went along.
Sure.
Adam Randall, was a wide receiver turned running back because they needed a running back.
because
he was not a running. They had no choice. He was a good soldier. He did it. It was clear early on. He had no idea how the hell to play running back. It was more just, I'm going to do this because it's being asked of me. Then it got better, where you could tell he was learning how to press his line and get to the gap and then turn up field. I do agree. He's very north-south. It's one cut and get the hell up the field because I can't do anything else.
I don't hate that though either.
No, I don't, especially in a wide, especially in a mid. He's admittedly he'll be better in a gap scheme, but if you could teach him to just drive the 1 foot into the ground and just make the cut when you see the opening, he could do wide zone and mid zone without any problem.
Agreed.
And now that's going to take some time because he's still so new to the damn position. Mm-hmm. But I really like Randall, especially when you factor in he's going to offer you receiving prowess and spades, especially like, could you imagine putting a 6'2", 230-pound running back in the slot?
Insane.
That is to me so much fun. Like
especially with 4.5 speed.
Like he's not like Wes Welker. He's enormous.
Like the way I would encourage people at home that are sitting there thinking about this, that are trying to like mentally comprehend what we're talking about here. Think about like Matt Forte in the slot, but as a true receiver, not as a true running back. Because that's what he was once upon a time. Like, to me, Adam Randall is kind of the more souped up, bigger, more fun version of what Brashard Smith was in last year's class. Right? The converted receiver to running back, has that ability in the pass game. There's a reason the Chiefs loved him, because they're like, well, we need a fucking receiver that can catch the ball out of the backfield. To me, if I'm a team, that's Randall's. You're a matchup nightmare because you're huge and you've got speed and you're a natural receiver. But we can teach you, if you have an Eric Bieniemy-like running back coach, right? We can teach you how to become a better running back. And that's okay if it takes you 2 years to get there, because we're probably not spending more than, what would you say, maybe a 4th round pick on a guy like Adam Randall?
I would say 4 is high, is probably his high point. I would say he's probably more likely to go in 5 or 6. I think 5 is, to me, it's safe. Yeah, and yes, to answer your question, Q, he runs like he's 230 pounds.
He does.
He's coming with some thunder. He is coming as if he does not give a shit that you're in his way.
And I'll say this, especially because he's so new to the position, to your point, Danny, and maybe there's that lack of that kind of, quick twitch agility. Try saying that 10 times fast on a Tuesday
doing your
night.
Best.
Because of the lack of that, he does have really good contact balance, though. There's a lot of times you can't arm tackle him. Like, every one of his games, every one of his best highlights, his best plays, there's often times where he's getting arm tackles because guys just try to get a piece of him, and he's too big to just get a piece.
He's literally too big and strong.
Up. Yes, you have to wrap him up and bring him down. Now, granted, when you wrap him up, he goes down relatively easily. Mm-hmm. But I think as a late round running back, if you're going for depth, if you're going for an off-pace guy and a guy with high upside as a physical runner, I think the world is your oyster when it comes to a guy like that.
I think Randall is very much just a wild card because of how new he is. He might go undrafted because no one trusts him.
Which is crazy, because somebody's going to get value out of him if that happens.
Right. I think Randall's a really interesting player. Like I said, he's still learning the nuances of blocking. He's not good at that yet.
Yeah.
He lacks a lot of, like, I understand people like that. The talking point is always running backs are the most fungible position. Is that the third? Like, he's still so new to it. He doesn't know. He lacks feel. Like, and it's maddening at times because it's like, just do the running back thing. And he's not a running back yet. I mean, he's a running back, but he's not a running back yet. So I would say Jeremiyah Love, yes, if you're talking football player,
better
in this bracket, better football player. But for the purposes of the Bears and building the Bears big board, I think you're actually more inclined to move Adam Randall forward because they don't have a shot in hell at Jeremiyah Love.
And I think Adam Randall, if we're going off of that theory here, Danny, is a player that fills a need that the Bears have. Like, Kyle Monangai long-term is not a great receiver. We saw it last year, a lot of drops. And DeAndre Swift beyond this year is obviously not under contract, but he's also an okay receiver. Adam Randall's a natural receiver. So when you're talking about what he can do in the pass game, the screen game, being an outlet for Caleb Williams, he fits that bill. And I also think too, right? You watch Eric Bieniemy leave, but replace him with another great running back coach. I think there's something to be said there with Randall. I will say this. I think Brashard Smith took more naturally to the position a year ago as a converted receiver than Randall has. But because of Randall's physical traits and just how big he is, and then what he ran at the combine as a 230-pound running back, the upside to me with Randall is so fascinating because of that. I think Randall has a chance to become what I wanted his predecessor to be. And I'm drawing a blank on a name, and I'm going to pull it up real quick because he's on my dynasty team. Because it's been a long night and there's been a lot of names. Where is homeboy? I gotta pull it up. I want to make sure we get it correct.
I'm racking my brain here because I'm like struggling right now.
Will Shipley.
Like because he's a big white guy from Clemson.
Well, no, because when I saw Will Shipley, I saw a very similar player to Adam Randall in the sense of there's high upside in the pass game. He's a bigger running back. You know, he maybe isn't the fastest guy or the most shifty guy, but he's north-south, and he understands the offense. And I think Adam Randall is a very similar player. I just think Adam Randall has a bigger upside because we just don't know what he is as a running back yet. But he's such a natural athlete because of what he can do at receiver. So I think Adam Randall is a fascinating player here. It sucks almost that he's a 16 seed because I'd like to just move Jeremiyah Love along for sake of the argument.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen on Twitter a lot, like, and this is coming from, I was a huge Tyrone Tracy fan of him coming out of Purdue. And I know people want to make the lazy comparison that Tyrone was his senior year shifted from wide receiver at Indiana to running back at Purdue to do for the good of the Tyrone's a better athlete than Randall is.
Yes.
And he was more of a zone runner and more I get it. It's an easy parallel to draw. I just didn't find them to be that similar. That and Tyrone Tracy, for whatever reason, one of the best things that stood out in his Purdue tape was he was a hell of a blocker.
Yeah.
Like he was willing to mix it up. And Randall just is big, he's strong, but he's not a good blocker yet. And you'll hear like the armchair scouting community use terms like good blocker and willing blocker. I think Randall's willing. I don't think he's good at it yet. Just like I said a similar thing about Monungai last year. Monungai was a willing blocker.
Willing blocker. Agreed.
He wasn't good at it.
Wasn't. No, he wasn't. And it's funny because that's something that like Q and I have talked about a lot when we do the offensive line shows. We'll talk about if a running back has a good block. Like I thought DeAndre Swift took a massive step forward in his
DeAndre Swift went from egregious to really respectable last year.
Yes. And again, testament to Eric Bieniemy and what he did with that running back room a season ago. But like it's good that a guy's willing. Like I'll take a willing blocker and as a ball of clay. Hey, you're willing to stick your nose in there. Good. We'll teach you the technique as long as you're willing to do it. But to your point, right? Just because you're willing doesn't mean you're good at it, right? You can throw a shoulder at somebody, but it doesn't mean that you know your ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to pass blocking.
Bingo.
That's
all right.
That's what it is.
Jaydn Ott or Damon Claiborne. Does Jaydn Ott exist?
I don't like Jaydn Ott. I'm just going to
come out. I don't either because he doesn't play football.
You know what he is to me? And I hope Tony Marchese is watching this show somewhere, somehow, even in arrears. He is the most whelming running back in this class. Not over, not under, just whelming.
That's what I say a lot. He's whelming. He's fine.
Whelming.
He at one point I know was like the cat's pajamas in terms of like the metrics. Like I think he's got good vision but he doesn't play, Ron. He doesn't play.
And when he did play back at Cal, when you watch his film, I watch a guy who knows where he's going, has a little bit of patience to try to let a block set up, but he's not an elite athlete. He's not elite speed. He doesn't have elite shiftiness. He's not great at anything. He's just okay at everything. I'm very underwhelmed by Jaydn as a player.
Yeah, I'm just inclined to say move Damon Claiborne on because I don't really want to deal with this matchup. I think it's stupid. I have an undrafted.
I like
Claiborne.
Damon Claiborne. I really do.
I like Damon Claiborne a lot too. I want nothing to do with Jaydn Ott. I want to throw him.
I want nothing to do with Jaydn Ott either. I think the fact this is the only time I'm ever going to say anything negative of Quentin Crisco. I think the fact he's an 8 in this bracket is a load of bullshit.
He shouldn't even be in the bracket.
One time. Hold on. We gotta get the smiley face. Like this is the only one. This is the only one that I'm just like, what are we doing here?
So my original plan was to seed them based on y'all's rankings, right? And
Okay.
I was like, where's the fun in that? Let's seed them based on PFF's big board and see where we disagree.
Yeah,
so this is just based on PFF's big board.
Fair enough. We highly
PFF
disagree with
fight
PFF.
me.
Yeah, we highly disagree.
Okay, anyway, touching on Damon Claiborne.
Yes.
Speed.
Yes.
Wow. Oh my God. Does
Does
he exactly know where he's running a lot?
No.
No.
But that's okay. Does he give you like poor man's Kyle Monangai vibes? Because when I watch his tape, that's what I see.
See, not really, because Monangai ran with cement in his shoulder pads. And not I'm not saying Damon is scared by any stretch, but I'm trying to think like just a straight, like, he's a water bug, man. He's fast as hell. Like, I think he's small, and I think that's where I think what you're maybe and I'm not trying to speak out of turn, but maybe what you're seeing is you're seeing a smaller back in Monangai who ran really hard.
I see the tenacity in Monangai.
The tenacity, right? And and Claiborne runs hard.
Yeah,
but
he has the tenacity, just like in my opinion, Monangai did.
But Monangai is like wanting to snatch your soul from you.
Yeah, he wants he wanted to lower his pads and run through somebody always.
Yeah, I remember literally the first note I wrote down was cement and shoulder pads from Monangai. Like,
I love that.
Like,
I'll tell you what,
go ahead.
It's so funny how this draft thing works out because a year ago, doing the running backs in this project, I was talking to Sonny Verma, who's one of our co-hosts here at Bears on Tap, and he does Locked on Illini. And he goes, hey, I'll tell you what, man, if you're going to start anywhere, Kyle Monangai at Rutgers, 8 Illinois up. Go watch him. So I watched like 4 games of Monangai, where everybody else I watched probably 2 games. And I liked Monangai, but I felt like in such a deep running back class, like he's going to get overlooked, and that sucks. If you put Kyle Monangai in this year's class, he's probably like the 3rd or 4th best in this class.
Yeah, he's going in like the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah, 100%. Like that I think that's just a testament to last year's class. But I digress. I think we both agree here that Damon Claiborne is the for sure go ahead here when it's all said and done.
He's agile, he's fast, he runs hard as hell. He's got useful. I wouldn't say a good receiver. Useful.
He's okay.
He's a competent.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Receiver. I don't know what scheme he's really going to fit unless you're just making him an outside zone runner purely. I don't really see him being able to run between the tackles because for as hard as he runs, I just don't think his body is equipped for it, and the way he wants to play football isn't made for it.
Yeah. 5'10", 195 is not ideal. I agree.
Yeah. Claiborne's. I don't think Claiborne needs much of a recap though. That's all. Like,
yeah.
Seth McGowan and Desmond Reid.
Oh, what say Desmond. You, Desmond?
I love Desmond.
I'll tell you what.
Desmond Reid.
Desmond Reid to me is.
He reminds me of Tariq Cohen so much.
He does. I get a lot of Cohen vibes. I also get a lot of like originally when he came out, Kenneth Gainwell vibes as well.
How about Deion Sims, another Pitt Panther?
Ooh, I like that. I like that comp as well.
Yeah.
How about Dion Lewis as well?
Not Deion Sims. Deion Sims is the tight end. Dion Lewis is the one I was thinking of. You hit him. The Pitt Panther running back.
Yes. I get a lot of Dion Lewis with Desmond Reid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's probably lazy because there's so
I don't think it is. And I think he has
20 scrimmage yards per game. He's their offense.
He is their offense. And I'll tell you what, I think as a 12 seed here, we love a good 12-5 upset in March Madness.
We love in March Madness. You got to have it.
Desmond Reid brings another asset because he's a returner too. He's a punt returner and he's a kick returner. And especially in the NFL's kickoff rules, I think he dominates in that format. So not only are you getting a guy who's largely maybe considered a quote unquote scatback, and I hate that term scatback, but it's just the easiest way to describe what he does. He also brings a returner aspect. And then on the flip side, I don't know about you, Danny. I look at Seth McGowan. I'm not impressed. I see a guy who runs high. He's a red zone merchant. That's the exact words I used here. I said red zone merchant, does run with some conviction in the red zone, but does not display elite vision, and he runs high as a 6'1", 215 back. To me, that's nothing I'm excited about.
And the most translatable thing I've seen is that he has an NFL frame. He looks like an NFL running back.
He looks like it. He plays like,
and
looks like Tarzan, but he plays like Jane.
I feel like I think he plays small for his size.
Yes.
I hate the fact that he's already, like, I'm not sure if you notice this going through it. There's a lot of old running backs in this class, and I don't know why. Like, and he's 24 already. Like,
it's like Ray
it took
Davis.
you this, yeah, or Chris Rodriguez. Pick your Kentucky overaged running back for 500. But like, I liked Chris Rodriguez coming out, but that's because that guy ran like a banshee. Like,
ran like a
I don't like, but this guy doesn't run that way.
No, he doesn't.
Like, and he's older. He lacks. I feel like he might have tested well. I don't have the testing numbers in front of me, but
yeah,
I don't feel like he's a better football player than Desmond Reid, and you're basically
agreed.
Like, I feel like you're banking on the fact that he has an NFL frame, and you feel like that Reid is going to be more of a gadgety player, and I don't think that's the case. I think Reid is going to be a part of a committee because you literally can't give him the lion's share of a carry.
Right.
But I don't feel like you can give Seth McGowan one either unless you're just projecting purely off of his frame, not his production.
And I agree. And I think even if we're going off production, Danny, like every time, so I always like to watch a full game of these guys and then also watch their highlight film because you'll see when they make the big plays. Everything on McGowan's highlight film is within the 5-yard line. Almost all of it. He is a red zone merchant. Like, that's where he makes his money. And even when he does, he gets stood up and just leans forward because he's 6'1" and 215 pounds. I don't think he ran a 4.49 40, which is
you could have fooled me.
But like, yeah, he doesn't look like he runs that fast. And again, I think there's a difference between straight line speed and football speed, and I don't think he has it. And I think Q puts it perfectly here. He says, Google Desmond Reid. He has a scowl on his face in every picture. That's a dog. He has that dog in him, and you can see it the way he plays, even though he's small.
Yeah.
I don't think McGowan has the dog. I don't know about you, Danny. I'm all for the 12-5 upset.
Yeah, 12-5 upset. Do it.
Desmond Reid, moving on. As Q gets our bracket ready, we keep moving. Jonah Coleman versus Robert Henry Jr. or 413. Danny, I'll let you go ahead and take it away here. I have a clear-cut winner here personally. Do you feel the same way? Okay.
Jonah Coleman, I think, has an argument for the second best back in this class. I love Jonah Coleman. I know he didn't have the greatest year. I think he was injured most of this year or missed time with injury. I just really think he fits my aesthetic. He runs like he's a grown ass man. Yeah. You're not taking easy. He's not going down easy. He's taking the fight to you. He's got balance through contact. He's got good vision. His biggest knock is he's not a great athlete. He's a okay athlete.
Yeah.
And I get why people are deterred by that. But I really think he's got good feet, even though he's not fast. Like, he's got really nimble like feet. He makes good cuts. He understands. I feel like he's got a good sense of like proprioception of where he's at on the field and what's around him.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it's like, for what he lacks in athleticism and that classic regard of, twitchy, big, strong, fast. Like he just, I think he's just a good football player.
Yeah.
And I think whoever drafts him is going to get a really nice running back for a long time, provided health holds up.
I agree.
I think I can't even get him past under running back 3 just because I think he's such a steady player. And I will admit I'm a victim of my own circumstances. A lot of times when I evaluate, I very much value steadiness. You don't do negative plays.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're going to bring to the table. And if you are year over year just the same guy,
that's okay.
I think that's totally acceptable, and that puts a lot of value on it, especially because running backs can be a little bit like middle relievers in football, in baseball, right? Where some years they're really good,
or goalies in hockey. Yes,
yeah,
yes, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. I'm glad you said that because that's my number one. I always look for who's the most likely to be the inconsistent in sport, from sport to sport, right? Hockey players, it's goalie. Baseball, it's relief pitchers. NFL, it's 100% running backs, unless you have a true great that's going to roll on and just continue to be that guy for a long period of time. And I agree with you. I think Jonah Coleman, the way I put him, I think he's a bowling ball with legs. I think he has good vision. He's a quote-unquote big little guy because he's only 5'9", but he's almost 230 pounds. I think he will be limited to an extent at the next level. I think he's better off as a part of like a dual running back committee long term. But he gives me, and tell me if I'm off my rocker here, he gives me smaller Rashad White vibes. And there's just a sense of the type of running back that he is.
I could see that. Very no frills, very just, this is my job, this is how I do it.
Just do your thing and be really good at it, and you're just consistent, and I'm totally cool with that. And sometimes, especially at the running back position, you're, like you said, you're good with that if you get that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think.
Do you have any thoughts on Robert Henry?
He runs in a straight line fast, and that's about it. I think he is Kenyon Barner 2.0 in my eyes. Like he just runs fast.
Sure.
I don't think he's anything special. I think he's just fast.
I wasn't able to get any time with him really. So
you're not missing anything, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like him because he's like a small school guy. But I don't think he's all that special. Also, side note, we love the giving your wife some love before she heads to bed, because
absolutely
before we jumped on these. So just a good shout out. Hey, just to remember, we're all regular people too, right? When it's all said and done. Hey, I'll tell you what, this next one feels to me like a total toss up. I don't know about.
Oh yeah, this is
Le'Veon Moss versus Jamari Taylor.
I got to Jamari late off of recommendation. I would probably still lean Le'Veon Moss for me, but I can, after watching a little bit of Jamari, I can definitely see where you flip a coin. What do you like more?
Yeah.
What do you like on that day? I think Moss is definitely going to project into more of a. Again, you're going to hear a lot. This running back class, for all intents and purposes, is not very good. So a lot of these guys are going to be projecting into. Where are you in a stable of backs? Where are you in this committee? What do you do? Yep. I think Moss is one of his best traits is that I think he'd be great in a zone. I think he has very consistent eye awareness and eye discipline and being able to stack his blocks and get to the next level and continue his runs. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Nothing about him wows me. He does a little bit of everything well, and it's enough to keep him just on the field to just play the next down. But I think if someone better than him were in College Station, that someone would have taken his job. I
agree.
I think he's just fine. And I feel kind of similarly to like him as I would, I don't know, like if Seth McGowan were better, I feel like Seth would have a very similar profile to Le'Veon Moss kind of thing, but Seth isn't as good. Like I don't know. Like, what do you think? Am I off my rocker on thinking Le'Veon Moss is just kind of fine? Like this is an out of the box. This is an NFL running back prospect. This is kind of what they should look like.
No, I completely agree. Like I have him listed. To me, he's a little bit of a chaotic runner. in the sense of just like
I
he
can see
doesn't look
that.
very refined the way he runs. It's very almost kids stole the cookie out of the cookie jar esque in some instances. But like I don't think he has clean jump cuts. I don't think, but like he kind of runs like a bigger back, even though I mean he's 5'11", 210. Like that's kind of
he's well put together.
Yeah, he's well put together, but he definitely runs like a bigger back. But I will give him this. He's a no nonsense running back. Like it's read the hole, make the cut, and go. And I like those guys, and I'm cool with those, and you can get a lot of value out of those guys. But I just don't see him as a workhorse at the next level. And admittedly, I feel the same way about Jamar Taylor. I look at him and I say, you've solid contact balance. Like you have fair speed for your size. You're 5'9", 205.
And I think you can tell he cares when he runs.
Yes,
he really does.
There's intent.
I think Jamari runs with a lot of intent and a lot of purpose
and conviction. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, but I feel like these guys, when you're watching them, they kind of watch this a little bit the same.
Kind of
like
I feel very whelmed by both of them.
Yeah, I feel like these are just both replacement level spellbacks in the NFL. Like I don't feel like any sort of way about either of them.
Q, who's moving on here? Because I can't make a decision unless Danny's got whatever likes more.
We're sending
Moss. Q.
Sending Moss. Sending the guy from Texas. You got to keep it closer to the Red Raiders.
It does not bring me any joy to push an Aggie through. I've watched Moss. I haven't watched Taylor. So
fair enough. I fully respect that. Well, we'll keep this thing moving. Danny. I don't know about you. I fucking loved Mike Washington before he ran a 4.3 at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
And I still love Mike Washington after he ran
the combine. So let me play devil's advocate. I don't think this is a particularly close matchup. I think Mike Washington is a really fun football player.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's kind of dumb. I don't think he knows what's going on a lot of times. I think he's getting away
especially in the past game. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. He's just like he's in La La Land. It feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the past game. I think he's a versatile running back. I think you can run him in gap or zone. Like I think he's going to be just fine doing either one. I just don't know like what to expect of him because when you're testing that way at that size, I expect you to be like a no holds bar, like absolute first or second round pick. And I don't think he is.
And I agree.
That's worrisome to me.
I think that's where a lot of concern is because you look at his past and you say, wow, this guy went to, the University of Buffalo and New Mexico State and really didn't do anything there. But then he gets to the SEC and puts up 1,000 yards. And that doesn't make a lot of fucking sense. Right?
No.
But I will say this about him. I think he's a little better suited for a zone scheme than a gap scheme in the sense of just his patience and the way he sets up his blocks. I think that patience alone, this is not a 1-for-1 comparison. So for everybody watching this or listening to this, don't you dare come after me. He's a very poor man's version of like an Alvin Kamara. Like that's what Alvin Kamara did so well that made him a great running back is setting up blocks, having the patience. Le'Veon Bell was kind of the same way, right? Those guys who could let things develop in front of them and had an understanding of where they wanted to go. I don't think Mike Washington's a 1-for-1 by any means, but again, 6'2", 223 is crazy.
So do you actually
crazy?
If so, I actually have written down here if he were to fulfill his potential, and I'm saying this is the 100th percentile outcome. Like he gets over the passing game woes and he gets over the nitwit mistakes. What do you think about just this era's version of Jonathan Taylor? Big, strong, fast.
Spectacular. That'd be great.
But you can see that, right? Like just the build, how he runs. Like that's what I kind of see, but there's just so much you have to clean up. And I have too many questions.
I think the biggest difference, though, is Jonathan Taylor's lateral movement is spectacular. I don't think Mike Washington's lateral movement.
Well, it doesn't help that none of them actually test lateral movement anymore, so we have no idea. It's all
I think you see it on film. Like when he tries to cut, it's nothing spectacular. It doesn't stand out he's not juking somebody out of a phone booth, right?
And let me preface this by saying I had a top 10 grade on Jonathan Taylor when he came out of Wisconsin.
Of course.
Because I'm a sicko and I will always value running backs more than the average bear.
I'll tell you what, I watched Jonathan Taylor in person tear up the University of Illinois on their senior day with the Galloping Ghost gray uniforms for like 224 yards. So I am right there with you on Jonathan Taylor. Like I knew this guy was going to be a dog. But I'll tell you what, man, I look at Mike Washington, I go, you know what? If you're a team that really needs a running back, and like I think he's okay as a pass catcher if it's simple, right? If it's a swing route, if it's a screen, things where he has a set objective where no matter what happens, that's what he needs to do. I think he can give you really good value. And again, the speed, the size, I think he does a great vision. I think he has great patience. Those are his best attributes as a running back. To me, he's, I think, a really solid like third round pick. I think if you're a team that needs a running back and you take him in the third round, I think you're happy with what you get out of Mike Washington.
I agree. I have a third rounder on him. I think that's a really good place for him to land, especially because it feels like you taking him that high is still a bet on the traits that. But even if he doesn't hit on the bet, you're only out a third.
100%. Like, and I'm sad that he isn't going as a fifth round pick like he was when I did my mock draft when we guest starred on Bare Bones.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that would be incredible value if you get him in the fifth round. But as soon as you run a 4.33, all bets are off the window.
So Terion Stewart is interesting. I think he's a metrics darling. I think he's a draft hipster darling. Like, oh, look at who I know about that you didn't know about kind of thing. Like, and I like Terion. I think from what I can find of him and what I can watch of him, be it highlight reel, the highlight films, or like basically YouTube clips, because it's hard to find him. Like there's not a lot out there.
There isn't.
The one thing that I think is two things. That dude's a motherfucker. He wants to rip your soul out of your chest, kind of thing. I think he is just a pain in the ass to deal with, and I think it shows in how he gets his yard. He's a dirty work player. He has good contact balance. He doesn't avoid contact. If anything, I would say he probably runs to the contact here and there. But you have the other side of the coin of he doesn't play a lot. I believe he transferred. He's old. He's got fumbling issues in the past. Like there's all these things that come up, and it's like you do a lot of things I like, and metrics seem to like you, and draft heads seem to like you, but then you have all these other problems that are knocking you into like the sixth round, and it's like a hard balance of like where do you value him? I mean, Washington clears. There's not a chance that Terion can beat him, but I feel like Terion deserves a little bit of recognition. He's an interesting, good prospect for what he is.
I feel like with Terion Stewart, these were the 4 bullet points that I wrote for him, and I think it sums it up kind of well, and it aligns exactly with what you said, Danny. We are almost terrifyingly on the same page with most of these guys here tonight. He's 5'9", 222, so like the size is there. He's a no-nonsense go guy. That's what I consider him, right? Like he is, to your point, he's going to seek out contact more often than not. He cares. He runs like a son of a bitch. But to me, he has very average shift. He's a very average speed back. And because of that, it makes him a very average running back. That's how I see Terion Stewart. Is he serviceable to an NFL team? Absolutely. I think he's a great number 2 back for a number of teams in the NFL. I just don't think he has anything that makes him even the slightest bit above average to help him stand out enough to get enough carries in the NFL to make a general difference. But I think he's a fun player. I think he's a player that, again, if we're putting our coach hats on, right? Because he cares and he runs like a son of a bitch, I'll take him on my team any day of the week. I just can't promise you he's going to get more than 30% of the snaps as probably a number 2 back at best. And that's how I value him going forward.
Agreed. So Washington clears. Oh my God.
And state backs.
This is a weird dichotomy. I hate Nicholas Singleton's tape. I want to throw him off a cliff.
Can I say something really quick? I agree with you 100%. I don't like either one of these backs, if I'm being completely frank.
So Kaytron is like coach's pet. He's yes coach, no coach. He's going to do exactly what's asked of him. He's going to run the play exactly how it is.
Yeah,
he knows where he's going. It's the most boring, unspectacular tape you're ever going to watch, but it's coach tape, and coaches are going to love it because he's going to do what the hell is asked of him.
Bingo.
Nick Singleton is like if you took Miles Sanders or like the Dollar Tree version. Yeah, that's why I'm going there. Like Miles Sanders was like Walmart brand Saquon Barkley. This is like Dollar Tree brand Miles Sanders. Like this big, strong, fat. Like the idea of Nick Singleton is amazing because he exists in. I'm not sure how much you and I've gone back and forth like you and I have in terms of like I believe firmly and staunchly in something called the planet theory. If there's a guy in the draft at an area in the draft that is built differently than the rest of these people, big, strong, fast, and is a 9.5 plus on the RAS scale or like a 90 percentile plus on the Spark scale, but they're falling for whatever reason and you're in the third round, take that guy. Take your swing.
Just do it. Yeah.
Because God doesn't make people like that.
Mm-hmm.
That goes out the window for guys like Nick Singleton because I just think he's a terrible football player. He's got things that you can maybe see. Like he's got good soft hands. He's got electric speed. He's big. Theoretically, this could be your modern day bell cow. And then you watch him and you're like, I don't know what to do with that. Yeah. Because he's just Ron, he's infuriating.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, to your point about what Kaytron Allen does well, and we're going to get to him. To me, Nick Singleton is the definition of I'm a good pass catcher. I have the speed. I'm fairly sized, 6 foot 225. But I'm going to run the hash and pray to fuck that there's a window for me to run through. And if it's not there, we're shit out of luck.
We're done. Play's dead.
And to Q, I know you're going to love this one. We love guys that run the hash because that's what running backs are taught, right? That's the technique. But he takes it almost too literally. There is no adaptation of bouncing it back on inside zone or outside zone. It is.
He doesn't have vision.
He just goes. Right, exactly. He just takes what's there. He doesn't try to diagnose what's happening in front of him.
It's to use like kind of like you said, run the hash. It's the same thing as when you get these bendy pass rushers who all they know how to do is bend the arc and run the arc. Mm-hmm. And they have no counter to the outside shoulder run the arc move. It's like, well, if I can't run the arc, what am I going to do?
I'm shit out of luck. Yeah, I'm fucked. I'm just going to take what they give me, which is going to be just getting blocked by an average left tackle because I can't do anything else. And you and I can maybe fight about this. Kaytron clears. I can't move. Oh no, I don't fight you on that. I like Kaytron because I will always take a player with higher IQ to move on than a player that leaves something to be desired.
Like if you were to draw up what a running back should probably look like, it's probably Nick Singleton. In terms of the physique, the build, the metrics, everything about him, and then you watch him play, and you're like, "Damn,
what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing?
It's like,
where are you going, buddy? Where are you going?
It's like the Bobs from Office Space. What does it say that you do here?
What is it that you say you do?
Oh, this matchup makes me sad.
Yeah, this one makes me sad too because I like
Noah Whittington. Noah's a good football player. He runs hard. He's solid, unspectacular, but he's in a lot of ways a lot like Kaytron Allen, but I think he's better in terms of.
I think he's more dynamic. I think he's faster.
I think he's got better traits. I think he's better traits. I think Kaytron's a better football player, but I think given time, Whittington offers better athletic traits where you could see him excel more at the NFL level because I think Kaytron's just going to get his ass kicked due to lack of traits.
Yes.
I agree. I like Kate. He's got good power. He goes like for a guy built his way, man. I don't know.
5'8", 203. I have three bullet points for him. I said good hands. Like I think he made some really interesting and spectacular plays in the pass game. He's fun, but he's not elite at anything, but he's decent at almost everything.
Yeah, he's a jack of all, master of none.
Yes. And on top of that, I called him this, and I think Q appreciates this comment. We talked a little bit about it before we got the show started. He's a little chaos agent, is what I called him. It's kind of what I get when I watch his film. He's a little chaos agent. He's just all over the fucking place.
You know what I liked about him most when I watched him? His ability to feel where he was on the field. He has an innate sense of where he seemingly is.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's a product of being a bit of an undersized back. Like, I don't want to get hit kind of thing. Like, but he does.
I don't want to take the detrimental hit because I need to have an awareness of what's happening.
That's what I was going to say. How many times when you were watching him did you see him get absolutely just blown up?
Never. Literally never.
There's a
maybe on one hand.
There's an ability to know how to get hit. And I think he knows how to get hit. And I think that's in part due to the fact that he knows where he's at on the field. He has it's like a sixth sense, right? He just understands, like, I am here. There are guys here. I don't want to take a big hit. I'm going to fall it's like NBA players learning how to fall out of midair. There's a way to learn how to fall too.
There was a run. I can't remember against which team, but he took it up the left hash and he's running through, and you see it as he's running. He looks, sees the safety is in line with him, looks back to try to see if there's a move to be made to get away from him. And once he realizes he can't, he takes the best hit advantageously to him to not only fall forward and not get hurt, but gain like 4 yards on the play after the fact. And this was like a chunk 25-yard run. It's just like, to your point, it's that spatial awareness of him to be running and see green grass, but then to look and be like, oh shit, I got a guy that's about to clock me. I'm going to take the right hit, hold on to the football, live to see another day.
And that's to fight another down.
Yep. Yeah, that's a skill set in itself.
Yep.
But on the other side is a guy named Jadarian Price, who's a no-nonsense son of a bitch, and I love him. I almost like him more than Jeremiyah Love, man.
He's awesome, dude.
He's so fun.
Jadarian, sometimes I do think he thinks he's faster than he is. He does try to run away from things, and it doesn't work.
He just can't, and that's okay.
It's like, bro, you're a high 4.4s, low 4.5s athlete. There's no shame in that.
But you know who else used to do that for the Chicago Bears? David Montgomery.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Thought he was faster than he was. He tried to run away from people.
He's not as big as Monty though.
No, he's not. But like, still that same mindset of just like
same mindset.
Hey,
I think Jadarian Price. You'd be talking. If Jadarian got a lion's share of carries somewhere, you'd be talking about him at probably the tail end of the first, early second.
Sure.
And I don't know. I think he's probably easily clearing as the second best back in his class. Like, I could argue Coleman, but I think the traits are just better for Jadarian.
Yeah.
I like a lot of what he does, man. I just think he's going to be, I think he could conceivably be someone's starting back at the NFL level if the circumstances fall correctly.
I agree.
I just really like it, what he can do. Like, could you imagine if you would put him in put him in College Station, have him take Le'Veon's job? You don't think he's just walking all over Moss and just saying, this is my job now?
Yeah. He's the only reason that people are even questioning what Jadarian Price is because of the fact he played behind Jeremiyah Love. And he's still the number 2 back to almost everybody in this class, despite that. And I think with Price too, I look at him and like he and Love complemented each other very well, because Love is the freak athlete, would go off schedule, do this, do that to make the sexy play. Like, Jadarian Price is the no nonsense. Like, hey, I'm going to make one cut. I'm going to find my hole. And he's got good vision. He usually finds that hole more often than not. And he just hits it and goes downhill.
So my question is, I put in the middle of, like, if you were to make this like the two bubbles overlaying each other, your little chart, I put vision in the middle as a question mark. I don't know if he's got good or bad vision, because like I said, a lot of times he's just running away from people because he thinks he can.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's a product of
him thinking he can do more than he should, or if he just sometimes doesn't see it when he should.
Fair.
But he's got legit juice. I think he just sometimes overestimates how much juice is in the squeeze kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes. He's got burst. He runs hard as hell for a guy his size. Like, I really genuinely like watching him play football. And I wish we would have gotten to see more of him, because I know the in vogue thing halfway through the season was like, this guy's another first rounder. Like, no, he's not. He's just not.
No,
he's good.
Not.
But like
he's probably a late 2, mid 2.
I would say, yeah, I would say a late 2 or a mid 2. Like, I guess the conversation becomes, if you're moving him on from Whittington, do you believe the Bears are even considering a running back that high?
I don't. I would be okay moving our boy Whittington on just to see him live to see another day, because of the same reason that Love, like, he's probably not in the realm of when the Bears would even borderline
consider a running
back. Yes. Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. But Jadarian Price, great player. I can't wait. I'm going to do everything I can in every dynasty league I exist in to take Jadarian Price. So, except our league, Danny, because I don't think I actually might be able to get him. So I won't say that, but neither here nor there.
Jaydn, Damon Claiborne or Adam Randall. This is interesting, because this is interesting. This is two very different players.
Very different players. And I'll tell you what, and this will be my argument for who I think should move on. I think Damon Claiborne is too close to Kyle Monangai in the sense of just like maybe the body structure and the way he runs, not necessarily the speed aspect.
There's not an Adam Randall build in the Bears room.
Bingo. And that's kind of where I say, man, it's crazy to think a 16 seed's going to go on a Cinderella dance, but
do we want to move him on just because of the I feel like the unknown factor for Randall is really interesting, because this level of Swift. I think we all kind of understand is probably in his last season here in Chicago.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and I don't know where Randall's going to go. He could go as high as in the 4th. He might go undrafted, but that's the unknown.
Maybe the Bears use one of those. Maybe the Bears use one of those 2 7s on Adam Randall.
Yeah, and where did they find Kyle Monangai last year?
7th round.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful place to find running backs.
I'm okay moving Randall. I think Claiborne's a better football player, but I think
agreed.
I think because Claiborne's going in 4 or 5, right? Like,
he's probably. I would guess he's probably going to go in the mid to late 4th round.
Okay, so call it 4. Randall, 4 is high. I think 5 or 6 is probably the
even if we call him a late 5, early 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he fits, again, when we contextualize this as the Bears. I think Randall is something the Bears don't have. I think Claiborne's speed is something the Bears maybe don't have, even though Swift is incredibly fast in terms of the combination of what he does. But sure. I think Randall's too fascinating to not move on just for sake of the experiment.
Agreed.
This one's fun too.
Coleman. I like Reid. I just think he's a little redundant with DeAndre there. And I think he's a different player in terms of what he offers. And I love the fact that he's only 21 years old. He's a baby coming into the NFL. But I've contended for, probably 6 months now that there's not a better fit stylistically for the offense the Bears run than Jonah Coleman.
Yeah.
And
I agree. And you see that in the way he plays. He almost in a way is a little bit like David Montgomery. Like I said, big, strong, good feet. Like just there's a lot of just no bullshit. Yeah, I agree.
We're moving Coleman on, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I
don't even want to talk about this. Mike Washington's moving on.
Washington, yeah.
Bye.
Keep Mike Washington moving on. Easy.
Whittington. Kaytron Allen is fine. He's whatever. We just had this conversation.
Yeah.
We literally just had this conversation with what
I'd rather move on Whittington because I think there's something else there in terms of juice to like, don't get me wrong. I think Kaytron Allen can be a solid pro. I just think Whittington brings a different wild card aspect to it that he does that Allen doesn't.
Okay, so here's interesting. I think this is where Randall's run probably comes to a halt.
Agreed.
And it's where I keep running into I've watched enough Coleman. I've watched enough Ben Johnson offense, and I've watched how Coleman is deployed for the Huskies.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a better fit in this draft, man. There's just not. Like, I know he's unsexy, and I know people don't want to hear running back, but we're currently right now where Coleman is now being projected to go in the third round. That's where I believe if the right running back were there, that it would conceivably start.
Yeah.
So if he's there at 89 and you went defensive end, defensive tackle, or whatever incarnation thereof, or defensive end, defensive tackle, safety, I could foresee a world where Coleman makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
especially when Bocher's available in the fourth round, Danny.
Oh, for the love of God. I think we both see where this is probably heading at this point.
No, I agree. I think the Jonah Coleman fit makes way too much sense. And like, don't get me wrong. I think if the Bears said, hey, we're signing Adam Randall as an undrafted free agent and we're taking him with one of our 2.7s, I don't think anybody's going to bat an eye about that. But I agree with you. The no nonsense play style of Jonah Coleman fits exactly.
And the vision of how he just sticks his foot in the ground and this is time. Just go. Whittington, I think his run is probably
I agree.
over as well.
I like my Washington Jr. far more. I just think there's more upside and
there's more upside.
Speed aspect of it. Like he's a burner.
Here's the
debate.
I think here's the debate. You and I will probably disagree. I would go Coleman because I just think Washington is going to probably outkick their coverage in terms of where he's going to end up getting drafted due to traits. And I think Coleman is on the other end of falling down boards.
I will take a two-pronged approach to this here for you for sake of the content and the argument. If I am 1 for 1 here, I like Mike Washington Jr. more just as a prospect. Like I think the size with the speed combination, the patience, I think it's fascinating. He's going to make somebody really, really, really happy. That takes him probably somewhere in the third round. I think there's some development that needs to happen on the receiving side. I think that's totally fine. I think he can get there. But the fact that, that people might be concerned, well, he didn't produce at the lower levels of college, but then he somehow managed to transfer his way up to Arkansas and then be 1,000-yard running back. Like, I don't think that's a secret. I think it was an opportunity thing. He just needed a chance to show what the hell he could do. But I agree with you. And I'll tell you what, if there's one guy through this scouting process that I have grown on, it is Jonah Coleman more than anybody. Like I had fun watching his tape. Yes, I had fun watching.
Dude, he's a bag of fun. He's not sexy. It's just
he's
fun
not sexy. But you and I are football sickos, and the guys that aren't sexy are fun usually because you can contextualize and see what they bring to quote unquote a Ben Johnson offense, right? Or just any offense in general. Like I look at Jonah Coleman and like the Rachaad White vibe to me. I love Rachaad White as a running back. I think what he brings to any team, granted he's a little bigger and a little like more sleek in my opinion. Like the ability to catch out of the backfield, the ability to fall forward and play behind your pads, the ability to maybe you're not the biggest burner in the world, but you're going to be able to fucking put down some energy here. 5'9", 230 is really rare to find. That's a guy with a crazy center of gravity because of the way he's built. And he's
built like a fire hydrant.
He is built like a fire hydrant. And I think
built like a fire hydrant.
I think him and Kyle Monungai for the next 3 years after this one is a fascinating 1-2 punch of hilarity. Like Coleman's probably your better receiving option. of the two, but they're both just no nonsense bullshit. We're gonna fight for every
and
yard.
Like I said, he is the
works.
best. To me, he is the best zone runner in this class. He sets up his blocks well. He knows where he's going. He puts his foot in the ground when he makes that decision and he goes. He only lost, dude. He lost one fumble in 4 years.
That's crazy.
What was the big thing for even Monungai coming out of Rutgers? Don't put the ball on the turf. That was a huge thing for him as a Scarlet Knight. He never fumbled. I think to this point from his NFL career to now, I don't think he's ever fumbled from college through the NFL.
That's impressive. Genuinely.
And I know like some people might quibble with us and say, well, you guys said he's like, you didn't want so-and-so because he's redundant to Monungai. And like, in a sense, yes, this very build, very everything is a little redundant. He's good though. And I can't help escaping, like, I can't escape this feeling of when I'm watching him, like, there's no one better for this offense in terms of what they wanted to do, especially because I love Kyle Monungai. I bought his damn jersey because I was right on his evaluation. Do I think he's an every down starter in this league? No, I think his frame is built too slight with how he wants to run.
Yeah.
Do I think Jonah Coleman could be? Yeah, I do. Because he's, like you said, 5'9", 230. That's a big boy. That's a big bitch, man.
That's a big old bitch.
So
he is truly a bowling ball with legs.
Yeah. And I know he's not the greatest athlete. And I know he's got some issues with, like, for a guy built like him, he tries to more slip the tackle than break the tackle. Like, whatever. That's, to me, I kind of don't care because I see the fit and I see the stylistic version of what he is. And I feel like he's an idealized version of the running back that they would love to be the Sonic or the Knuckles, rather, of their Thunder and Lightning or whatever. Or whatever, 100%. Whoever you want. Like, that's my thought.
And I think just to add to that really quick, like, I think if you're Ben Johnson and you say, you know what, I want to have another back on the roster that maybe leans a little bit more toward just the pure receiving side of things. Like, think about the way that the Detroit Lions deployed Craig Reynolds as a third running back behind Gibbs and Montgomery. Like, they had a third running back that they trusted on the roster. I think the Bears will do the same thing. I don't think Ben Johnson is ignorant to the fact that despite the running back having maybe not the sexy value that it does across the league and across the sport in general, in his offense, it has the sexy appeal value. I agree with you. Like, I like Mike Washington Jr. as a player, but I think Mike Washington Jr. fits in other schemes much better than he does in Chicago, where Jonah Coleman absolutely fits what Ben Johnson wants out of a running back. And if you got two guys that are similar, that's fine. Listen, every time I go bowling, folks, I have two bowling balls that are two different weights, but they both serve the same fucking purpose, and I knock down a lot of fucking pins with both of them. And that's how I feel about Kyle Monungai and Jonah Coleman, if that's the duo. Maybe they're not the exact same. One's a little lighter than the other, right? But at the same time, you can deploy them the way you need to when it's all said and done to knock the pins.
If you really want your receiving back, you can take him in the 7th round with Adam Randall. It's fine.
Yeah.
And you can just have a 3-headed, just big people.
It would be hilariously fun. I love that. I'll tell you what, I'm glad we did this exercise because I came into this again as a Mike Washington truther and appreciating what the Notre Dame running backs are as kind of my top 3. But the guy I grew the most love for over the course of this evaluation process was Jonah Coleman. So it's really, I'm very, very happy that he is the last man standing in this exercise.
Agreed. Good show, man.
Yeah, this was fun.
Good show, man.
Electric. This was electric. Q, I'll take this one out for us here this time. I'm not going to make you do it like in the linebacker show where we were just mentally out of juice. We appreciate the hell out of everybody that tuned into this thing. It's late. It's 11:30 Central Time. Q's already he's on to hump day in his state of the country. But I'll tell you what, we appreciate everybody building the board all the way through March. We're going to keep these shows going. Every position group is going to get covered except tight end because the Bears aren't taking one, but it's going to be a fun class. We're going to get grades for you nonetheless. And of course, we appreciate everybody joining in. And then after we get to April, that's when the real fun begins. Draft hype, all the fun stuff, the Building the Board project, such a fun project that we do every single year. This is my favorite group to do. Danny, I'm glad we finally got to be on the mic for this one together because this is kind of 2 years in the making to be able to talk about running backs. It was a great show, and I'm glad we got to the Washington Husky as the best fit for the Chicago Bears. As always,
the Husky.
The Husky. I like that. The t-shirts are being printed as we speak. This was a great show. We appreciate everybody. And of course, bear down. We will see you next week right here at Building the Board.